Hello, this is disting mode 2B, which is the quantizer. What we have here is an LFO into X. A is a quantized CV that's being generated from that LFO, and B is a gate output from the disting, which is being used to drive an ADSR. So we're only going to hear notes when the disting tells us to trigger a new note. So if I wind up the LFO a little bit, there we go. That's the LFO being quantized into a chromatic scale. Is that a chromatic scale? Yes, that's chromatic. So as we change the Z knob, we get all the different scales, as you'll see in the user manual. So now we're in a major scale mode. I think that's 1, 3 and 5 or something, or maybe 1, 5, 1. Anyway, you get the idea. Yeah, that's root and fifth mode, going up a couple of octaves. So in the mode we're in at the moment, we're getting a new note whenever the LFO changes enough to generate a new note. In this mode, the Y input is a transpose, so if I take another LFO, pop that in there, and put a different LFO in that input, then we've got the same thing going on, but very gradually being transposed chromatically, which is kind of fun. Now, if we change to the other mode for Y, this is triggered mode, so now it's only going to do a quantization when triggered by a clock on that second LFO that we just put in. So if I just dial one of those in, put it up to a decent speed. So now you can hear that the quantization is happening at rhythmic intervals determined by that LFO, which is probably a more useful thing if you're actually wanting to have stuff in time with the track. So the joy of that is you can just feed, for example, white noise into the pitch, into input X, which I'll do now. There we go. Change that LFO frequency a bit. So yeah, pitched random voltages, and again we can play with the scale. There we go, that's the root and fifth on the same thing. So there we go. And I suppose it's worth mentioning that Z, like all the other parameters on the disting, all the other Z functions on the disting, is voltage controllable. So you have voltage controllable scales there, if that's what you would like. That's it.